Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir wa tammim bil khair. So as we started our journey of learning the derived verb forms, which is called abwab, thulathi, mazid fi. So mazid fi means there is some addition, right, to the 3 root letters. So trilateral means the verbs that have 3 root letters. We call them abwab al-thulathi. And when something is added to them, they are called abwabu thulathi mazid fi or mazidun fihi. So we have learned that the first form is fa'ala, which is the basic form. Fa'ala yaf'alu fi'lan, that is the first form. And then in the second form, there is an addition of tashdid, and this tashdid will always be there on the second root letter, as we can see here. It will not be in the beginning, or it will not be in the end. So it will be ayn kalima, or the second root letter, tashdid. So for example, the first we have learned is sabbaha yusabbihu tasbihan, and fi'l al-amr is sabbih, and fi'l al-nahi is la tusabbih, right? So sabbaha, he glorified, yusabbihu, he glorifies, tasbihan, glorifying or to glorify, sabbih, fi'l al-amr, you glorify, and la tusabbih, you don't glorify, just for the sake of learning, of course. Then in the second or the third, it's the second for the mazid fi, and the third form or the third group, we will say. So in the third group, what we have, alif will be extra. And again, alif will always be the second root letter, as we can see here. So for example, it is jahada, yujahidu, mujahadatan. And you might have noticed as well that the mudare always starts with you. For these 3 forms, it starts with you. So these 3 are separate special forms which have mudare or the present tense starting with you. Jahada, yujahidu. So alif is also maintained here, and also it's over there in the masdar as well, mujahadatan. And when we make fi'l al-amr, we say jahid, and fi'l al-nahi la tujahid. And we have noticed here that there is no need to add hamzatul wasl, because these forms are readable. We can read them. For example, sabbih is readable, jahid is readable, we can read it. So that's why there is no need to add hamzatul wasl. Okay, now the third one is aslama yuslimu islaman. So basically, aslama yuslimu islaman, Islam, inna ad-dina inda Allah al-Islam. So Islam is basically peace. And what is the meaning of aslama? To surrender. To surrender to what? To Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the ahkamat of Sharia, and do what we are or we have been asked to do by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and by the Sharia. So a complete submission to the orders of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, complete submission to the rules of Sharia is called aslama, to surrender. Yuslimu, aslama, he surrendered or he submitted himself. Yuslimu, he surrenders, and Islam is surrendering, right? Submitting oneself. And fi'l al-amr here, it is slightly different. And this is the only fi'l al-amr in the mazid fi forms where hamza comes back. Hamza comes back, and this is hamzatul qati'. Hamzatul qati' means we have to read it. We have to pronounce it. For example, wa aslim, we will not say waslim. For example, in the thulathi mujarrad or in the trilateral verb, we say iqra waktub, right? So we don't say iqra wa uktub, we don't say that, right? But here it is hamzatul qati', that means it has to be pronounced. Both it will be pronounced in the past, it will be pronounced in the masdar, and also it will be pronounced in fi'l al-amr. Okay, so this is very important. Please write it down that this is the only mazid fi form of the verb where hamza is hamza al-qata', and we will not drop it. We will read it as I recited you the verse. Inna ad-dina inda Allahil Islam, right? So we have to say Islam. We have to read it properly and completely. Now let's see what happened. Basically, okay, now I will tell you like why this hamza comes back. Okay, notice here, sabbaha, yusabbihu. So the three root letters, or the four of them, are maintained, right? U has been added, which is alamat al-mudari, but this one, sin, baha, they are maintained over there. Jahada, again, if you see here, only the symbol of mudari has been added, and the rest of the root letters have been retained. Yani they are already over there. For example, jahada, you can see jim, alif, ha, and dal. All of them, four of them, are over there. But what happened in the fourth form of the verb, aslama, it should be you aslimu, right? It should be you aslimu. Why? Because we have here hamza, so hamza should be over there. So it should be read like this, you aslimu, you aslimu, right? But what happened, the Arabs said it's difficult to pronounce it, you aslimu. So what they did, they decided to drop hamza. So hamza has been dropped here just for the sake of like ease, or just to pronounce it easily. So here, as we can see here, four letters are maintained. Here, four letters are maintained, but here we have sin, lam, and mim. So hamza has been dropped only in the mudari. But what happens when we make fi'l al-amr? So you remember how to make fi'l al-amr? You remember the rule? First, the ending second, and then we have to drop alamat al-mudari. So now, as I explained earlier, or as explained now, what happens, that hamza that was dropped comes back. The hamza that was dropped in mudari over here, it comes back. So we will not.
I have a question, sir.
Yes.
Sir, in mazid fi abwab,
yes,
the fi'l al-amr will start with fatha. In sulati mujarrad, it start with kasra and dhamma.
That's right, yeah. And this is the only case. This is the only case, yeah, where we have hamza, and hamza will have fatha. It's a very good question. In the trilateral verbs, the verbs that have three root letters, fi'l al-amr will be either with dhamma, for example, uktub, or it will be with kasra, for example, isma', right? There will be no fatha. And this is the only form of the verb, whether it is trilateral or the derived forms of the verb, where it starts with fatha, and this is hamzat al-qata', yani we have to pronounce it. So now you know the reason why it has come back, because it was already over here in the root letters, but it was dropped in the mudari because it was difficult to pronounce. But when we make fi'l al-amr, it comes back. Mafhum? Clear?
Yes, sir.
So that's why we have here fi'l al-amr aslim. And we know that fi'l al-nahi is simple, which is we will say la tuslim, right? So we will not make any changes, only the ending will be sakin. And that's what we do here. We will make the ending sakin, and then we will add la here. So adding la will mean that it has become a nahi, la tuslim, okay? So that's where we need to be careful. Nothing will change. The only change that takes place, hamza comes back, and this is hamza al-qata'. So aslama yuslim islaman, aslim, and la tuslim, all right? So now we have completed, alhamdulillah, form number 2, 3, and 4, which is mazid fi forms. And I will give you like one sentence, inshallah, and that sentence will make it even further easier for us to memorize them. For example, I'm just saying now, and then I will write it down and send it to you. For example, the first one was fa'lun, right? Fa'ala yaf'alu fa'lun. So fa'lun means doing, okay? So doing what? Doing tasbih and mujahada are from the basics of Islam. So doing tasbih and mujahada are from the basics of Islam. So what happened here? We have covered tasbih wa mujahada wa Islam. So this is our sentence, which will make us, or which will make it easier for us to memorize these forms of the verb. Doing tasbih and mujahada are from the basics of Islam. So aslama yuslimu islaman, sabbaha yusabbihu tasbihan, and jahada yujahidu mujahadatan.
Doing tasbih, mujahada.
Yes. So, and the easiest way to remember is tashdid alif hamza. Tashdid alif hamza. Right?
The first sentence, can you write, sir?
Again?
The first sentence, just to memorize this one. Can you write?
I will
Doing
type it. Maybe
tasbih.
doing tasbih and mujahada are from the basics of Islam.
Okay.
Okay. So
This one is easy, sir.
Yeah, this one is easier, and it will make it easier for you. Inshallah, I will write it down and send it to you. Okay. So it covers the first four forms of the verb. Doing means fi'lun doing, and then tasbih and mujahada are from the basics of Islam. And this is what was taught by Sheikh Abdul Rahim, the one who teaches online Quranic Arabic as well. So I learned from him, and inshallah, I added few things, not because whatever he taught was not up to the mark, it's because based on my experience. So I have added doing fail as well in the beginning, because whenever we start from the form 2, we always forget about the form 1. So sometimes we are thinking, like, even after 2-3 years, I was thinking, which one is form 1? So now we know that fi'lun is verb form 1, and then taf'il is form 2, and mufa'ala is 3, and if'al is 4. All right, so I guess it's clear now. Any questions?
Sir, regarding the fail, Irfan, he told, can you please repeat that one?
Which one?
Irfan, he told about the fail al-amr, Damma, Kasra, and Fatha. It will come something.
We have learned earlier, we have learned the verbs that have only 3 root letters. For example, nasara, yansuru, okay? Nasara, yansuru. So 3 root letters. When we make fi'l al-amr from these 3 root letters, fi'l al-amr will take, either it will take damma or kasra. Any pesh was there. It will only take damma and kasra. In the 3 root letter verbs, there will we will say that there is no fi'l al-amr that comes with fatha, yani zabar. There will be no fatha for 3 root letter verbs. And we have discussed many times, for example, nasara yansuru nasran, unsur la tansur. And then we have daraba yadribu darban, idrib la tadrib. Okay, so now it is idrib. Okay, so this is how we will learn. Whereas in the mazid fi forms, they are like very straightforward. For example, sabbih, jahid, and here it starts with only hamza, which has fatha over here, and this is the only exceptional case which starts with fatha in all the Arabic verb forms. The only exceptional case where the fi'l al-amr starts with hamzatul qati', and we have to read it as it is written over here. Yes, Abdullah, I hope it's clear.
Now clear, crystal clear.
Alhamdulillah. No problem. All right, today's lesson, as I discussed earlier, inshallah, it's going to be very interesting. I like it a lot, and I do believe, inshallah, you would also like it as well. Again, anyone had the chance to go through the handouts? Okay, so the silence says it all, no problem.
Yes.
I think I sent it too late, so maybe, yeah. Okay, so.
Sir, you sent at 5:35, sir.
All right, so as we say that the noun always changes, right? The noun can be marfu', for example, Muhammadun. It can be mansub, Muhammadan, and it can be majroor, Muhammadin, right? So noun has 3 states. It will be marfu', mansub, or majroor, depending on how it is used in the sentence. And similarly, we say Allahu, Allaha, Allahi, right? So the noun will be either marfu', mansub, or majroor. The verb, and only the present verb, the mudari, not the past. Past is mabni, past doesn't change. the present tense will change. So it will be mansub, sorry, it will be marfu, and marfu, we know that the ending is with dhamma, right? Nasara yansuru. So the ending will be dhamma, okay? So it will be marfu, or it will be mansub. And do you know what is the symbol of mansub? Fatha, right? For example, Allahu, Allah, right? So fatha is the sign of mansub. Okay, the only change that takes place in mudari, it cannot be majroor, it will be majzoom. It will be majzoom. Majzoom means the ending will be sakin. For example, we have already learned about it. For example, idhab, la tadhab. So when you say la tadhab, what happened? The ending has become sakin, right? So when we make the ending sakin, even in fi'l al-amr we make sakin, and in the fi'l al-nahi we make sakin. So that is called that mudari has become majzoom. That means we have chopped it, like chopping it from the end. We dropped the ending of the mudari. So that is called majzoom. So mudari will be marfu, mansub, and majzoom. So we already know marfu, yani the ending is with dhamma, and every present verb ends with dhamma. If a verb is going to be mansub or majzoom, there will always be a reason for it to be mansub or majzoom. Similarly, for a noun, it will be mansub or majroor for a reason. It will not be for without any reason. We will not make it mansub or majroor. Okay. Okay. Now, how will it become mansub? For example, see here, how to say in Arabic, I want to go. I want to go. The Arabic for this is uridu. We have learned already uridu, and we have already learned adhabu, adhabu. And what happened here? We have added the particle an, and after an, the mudari, sorry, the present tense has become mansub. So dhamma has changed into fatha. So if you want to say I want to go, you will say uridu an adhaba. Uridu an adhaba. So instead of adhabu, it has become adhaba. So two changes have taken place. One change is in the ending of the verb. It was adhabu and it has become adhaba. That's number one. And number two, it has given us the meaning of to go. So I want to go, it will be uridu an adhaba. Okay, it literally means I want that I go, because an means that. But you know, we don't say I want that I go. So it will be considered as I want to go. Now, note that adhaba is mansub, i.e. has ending of a, and this is caused by the preceding particle an. Here are more examples. For example, aturidu an ta'kula, do you want to eat? Mada turidu an tashraba, what do you want to drink? Okay. And nuridu an najlisa amamaka, we want to sit in front of you. Najlisa, it was najlisu. So what happened? Dhamma has changed into fatha. Similarly, turidu Zainabu an tatbukha al-lahma. Zainab wants to cook meat, so it was tatbukhu, and because of an, it has become tatbukha. And similarly, yuridu tabibu an tarji'a ila baladihi. It was, sorry, yarji'a ila baladihi. It was yarji'u, and because of an, it has become yarji'a. The doctor wants to return to his country. All right. So, any questions so far?
Is that an is a preposition? Is what kind of?
Yeah, it's a particle. As you can see here, it's a particle. Particle means it's a harf. Harf in Arabic, huruf. There are many types of huruf. For example, we have learned about huruf jara. For example, fi and ala and min, right? And this is another kind of particle, which is called particle that is used for mudari. And this is an particle, all right? And what did it do? It changed the marfu form of mudari into mansub, and it has become adhabu has become adhaba, adhabu has become adhaba. That's number one. I want to go. Okay, I want to go. This is number one. Did you give me, or did I give you any reason, like why do I want to go? is there any mention of the reason? Like the person, if the person said here in these sentences, he said, I want to go. Is there any reason? Like, did he mention the reason? No, right?
Oh, sir.
No, yeah. So if you see here, I want to go, there is no reason that has been mentioned by the person, okay? So if he needs to mention the reason, like why does he want to go? Then if he wants to mention the reason, then to mention that reason, then there is another harf that is used, which is lam majrura, or lam that has kasra, li, okay? And that is called lam of reason, lam al-ta'lil, yani it is used to describe the reason. For example, you say, I want to go to drink water. So now there is a reason. So uridu an adhaba. Now we will use li ashrab al-ma'a. I want to go to drink water. And li has the same function as an. So both of them have the same function. What is the function? The mudari becomes mansoob. Mudari becomes mansoob. So instead of dhamma, it becomes fatha. So as we can see here, adrusul lughat al-arabiyyata li afham al-Qur'ana. I read Arabic language. Why? To understand Quran. So when you want to give a reason, then you will use li and the verb after that, either the verb or the noun. It can also come with the noun. Whether it comes with the verb or the noun, it will be mansoob, yani it will be with fatha. The ending will come with fatha. Now let's look at a few more examples. And ذهبت إلى الحمام لأغسل وجهي. I went to the bathroom to wash my face. So now it was basically أغسل, but when we used li, lam ta'lil, the lam of reason, now it has become لأغسل وجهي. فتحت النافذة ليخرج الذباب. I opened the window so that the flies may go out. So ليخرج الذباب, for the flies to go out. So why did you open the window? So that the flies can go out. And then we have خلقنا الله تعالى لنعبده. Allah has created us so that we worship Him.
Worship him.
Yeah, it should be capital. Okay. وما خلقت what is it, Irfan? وما خلقت
وما
الإنس
خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون.
وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون. Yeah, ليعبدوني. Yeah, has been dropped.
First jinn was created.
Yeah, so I created jinn and human beings only for my worship. So that's the reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created us. Okay, so now we have learned the use of an, that means to, just to, the meaning of to go, to eat, to sleep, to wash, to play. And then if you want to give a reason, then we use li, which is lam with kasra. This is the most important part, and this lam al-ta'lil is used so much in the Quran that in every second like page, or you can say every page, you will find it over there, inshallah, being used in the Quran. Now we have the third one, which is yumkinu, which means it is possible. So it is basically, the base verb is amkana yumkinu imkanan. Amkana yumkinu imkanan. Aslama yuslimu islaman. It's on the pattern of, so it's verb form number 4. Okay. So ayumkinuni an ajlisa huna. So may I sit here? And the literal translation will be, is it possible for me that I sit here? But if you want to ask someone, can I sit here or may I sit here? So you will say, ayumkinuni an ajlisa huna, can I sit here? And then the answer is na'am, yumkinuka an tajlisa. Yes, you can sit here or you may sit. And la yumkinuhu an yakhruj al-ana, he cannot go out now. So amkana yumkinu, it's basically used for the possibility. And from there we have the word mumkin, possible, mumkin. And it's used a lot in Arab world, and people use it a lot. So that's how we use it. Amkana yumkinu imkanan. Mundhu, it's a preposition. Preposition, what do you remember about the prepositions?
Jar majroor.
Jar majroor.
Jar majroor.
They come with the noun. They can come with the verb as well, but they are not used extensively with the verb. They are used most of the times with the with the noun. So what happens? The noun that follows it will be majroor, yani it will come with kasra or kasratain. So ma ra'aytuhu mundu yawm as-sabti. So it was yawm as-sabti, but because of mundu, we know that the noun that follows it will be majroor. So yawm as-sabti, I have not seen him since Saturday. Bilalun ghaibun mundu usbu'in. Bilal is absent since 1 week. So it means since, and it is used, when it is used, the noun that follows it will be majroor. And this is a very well-known rule, you know it for a long time, that the noun that comes after preposition will be majroor. This rule, you have already learned it, and we have discussed about this rule many times. And subhanallah, it comes now, but you have already learned it, and now you should be able to tell me what is the rule of verb form number 1 and 4.
After that, it will be Mansoob, sir.
Mansoob, sir.
After 1 and 4, the noun will be mansoob.
1 and 4,
No.
both can be possible, sir.
Yani, yes.
The doer will be there, so
The doer will be always marfu'.
Marfu.
The doer, if the doer is a noun, if it's not a what do we say, a damir, if it's not a pronoun, then the doer is apparent, then it will always be marfu'. If it's masculine, we will use the first form of the verb for present tense. For example, dakhala Muhammadun. Muhammad entered. Okay. Dakhala yadkhulu. So if you remember that dakhala is the first form of the verb. And dakhala, number 1, dakhala, number 2, dakhalu, number 3, and dakhalat is number 4, right? So dakhalat aminatu. So if the noun is feminine, then the verb will also be used feminine, which ends with ta sakina. Dakhalat aminatu. And if you remember, I told you that whether the doer is singular or dual or plural, we will only use the first form of the verb for the masculine and the fourth form of the verb for the feminine. For example, what if we have Muhammadun wa Bilalun? So what will be the verb here?
Dakhala
Dakhala Muhammadun wa Bilalun. And if we have Muhammadun wa Bilalun wa Abdullah, then what will be the beginning of the sentence, of the verbal sentence? Dakhala, yeah. So dakhala will be used for the masculine, the same. Okay, excellent. And if the doer is feminine, then it will start with dakhalat. For example, dakhalat aminatu. If we have Amina and Aisha, we will say dakhalat aminatu wa Aishatu. And if we have Amina, Aisha, and Fatima, so we will still use dakhalat. So this is a universal rule that is used for the verbal sentence. So of course, for the past tense, we will use dakhala.
Female and 2, 3.
Yes.
Sir, if it is mixed, I mean 3 female and 1 boy or man.
Then of course, you know, then we know that grammatically, the male will dominate.
Okay.
So dakhala Muhammadun, dakhala Muhammadun.
Same in nominal sentences.
Dakhala Muhammadun wa Fatimatu wa Zainabu wa Aishatu wa whatever names you have, we will still use dakhala Muhammadun because we have masculine over there. It is rare, but if there is a possibility, then the verb will be used for the masculine. Yes, the same that is applicable to the noun. Yes, yes. Same as what?
In nominal sentence.
Nominal sentence, that's right, yeah. And now we know that the same rule is applicable to the present tense as well. For the present tense, we know that the first form is yadrusu. For example, darasa yadrusu. And for the feminine, it is tadrusu, okay? So yadrusu Ibrahim al-lughat al-albaniyata. Ibrahim is studying German. So we can see here yadrusu Ibrahimu. And if we have 2 guys or 3 or 4 or 5, it will always be yadrusu. And wa tadrusu Maryam al-lughat al-fransiyata. And Maryam is studying French. So for masculine, we start with yadrusu. And for the feminine, we start with tadrusu. And I'm sure, inshallah, by this time, you should be well versed with this rule. I'm sure you know this rule very, very well now. Okay, now if the file is the female of human beings or animals, if the doer is female of human beings or animals, the verb should be feminine. If it is not so, the verb may be feminine. So we will look at the example, then you will see. خرجت البقرة. Baqara is animal, right? So if the female for the animals or the human beings, for example, خرجت فاطمة, then we will use خرجت, which is the fourth form of the verb. But if the verb is, there are two types of verb. There is two types of feminine. One is the real feminine and one is unreal feminine. One is real feminine and one is unreal feminine. Real feminine means that have pairs like human beings and animals. And unreal feminine means they have the signs of feminine. For example, 𝗕مربوطة. 𝗕مربوطة or ألف مقصورة or ألف ممدودة. For example, الصحراء والشمس والأرض. They are feminine, right? But they are not feminine because of the pairs. They are feminine because of being unreal things, and the Arabs said so. So that's why they are feminine. So the real feminine will always be pairs like human beings and animals. So if it is unreal feminine, then we can use both. خرجت السيارة وخرج السيارة. Both of them are possible. For example, Shams. Shams is feminine, right? So the sun rose, we will say طلع الشمس, and we can also say طلعت الشمس. So both of them are possible when the noun is unreal feminine. And I will show you now, inshallah, the difference between real and unreal. It's clear now, right? Is it clear or not?
Yes, sir.
So what is the difference between real human beings and unreal human beings? What is the difference between real and unreal feminine?
Sir, real mean whose masculine and feminine are available, sir.
Pairs, right?
Like male, female.
Yes. Like boy, girl, man, woman, right?
Boy,
and
girl.
Rooster and chicken, yeah.
Darzan.
We have also learned like 𝐷𝐸𝐴 or the 𝗓𝗲𝗀, rooster and chicken, right? And طالب وطالبة, right? رجل وامرأة. We have learned a lot of nouns now, so you should be able to answer now. Whereas سيارة is unreal feminine. It's not the feminine because it comes in pairs. It's the feminine because it has 𝗕مربوطة. So that's why it is خرجت and خرج. Both of them are possible. And inshallah, you will see in the Quran, for example, وقالت الأعراب, right? وقالت اليهود, right? So in the Quran, there are many examples where then the feminine or the whites قالت اليهود, because it is also broken feminine and it's not real feminine. So that's why in the Quran, we will find inshallah many examples based on that. بقي 3 دقائق. 3 minutes are okay. So this is why, okay, there are 3 minutes more and not baqiyat. So why it is baqiya, as it is mentioned here, that we will learn it inshallah later. It should be baqiyat 3 دقائق because baqiyat is used for the feminine. 3 is the plural of 1, 2, and then 3, number 3. So, but instead of saying baqiyat, it is baqiya. Why? As it is mentioned here, inshallah, we will learn later. It's because it's not male and female, so that's why it's baqiya. سمح له بالخروج. He permitted him to leave. So what we need to learn here, that when you allow someone, you allow him to do something. And when you allow someone, it comes with the preposition of la, with fatha, as we can see here. سمح له بالخروج. He permitted him to leave. And ismah li bil julusi huna. Again, here we can see li is the preposition here. And then what do you want to do? The action will follow it. Yani allow me to sit here, permit me to sit here. So what we need to know here, that samaha comes with the preposition of la. And then also after that, there has to be reason like what you want to do. And then similarly here, the same thing here, allow me to sit. La asmahu laka bid-dukhuli. I don't permit you to enter. So if you are saying that I don't want you or don't allow you to do that, again, we use the preposition of la, and then after that, we use the reason like whether you allow that person to do it or not. Arju, I request. Arju minka, I request you. It's basically raja yarju, to request someone to do something, and arju means I request. And inshallah, we will learn the forms of this verb in the lesson soon, inshallah. Vocabulary, I'm sure you can do it by yourselves. Yeah. Brother, can you please type because I cannot hear you? So please type your message. Okay, so I explained it already. تغيرات المضارع, changes in the present tense. So what changes take place and why do they take place and how do they take place? We have already discussed about it, and I want to show just a demonstration of that. For example, we have, as of now, we will focus on the verbs that start, all of them end with dhamma. For example, yadhabu, he goes, tazhabu, she goes, tazhabu, you go, adhabu, I go, and adhabu, we go. Okay. So if we want to say he wants to go, so we will say yuridu
an
yadhaba, right? So what happened here? We changed it into fatha, right? He wants to go. Okay.
He wants to go.
Yuridu an yadhaba, when we say it's the rule of the tajweed, right? We merge it, idgham. Otherwise, in everyday Arabic, we will say yuridu an yadhaba. Both of them are possible. When we talk about the yes, arjuk and min fadlik, it's a very good question. Both of them are two different ways of making a request. So either you can make a request saying arjuka or arju minka, or you ask something and then you say min fadlik, yani idfa 50 riyalan min fadlik, or tafaddal min fadlik. So if you want to make a request, there are different ways of making request, as we have different ways of making request in English as well. So this is the basic difference. Arju is basically verb and min fadlik is noun. Min fadlika, if you will be kind enough to do that. So it will be translated like that. So she wants to go. Translate it, please. She wants to go.
an tadhhaba.
Again, I didn't hear.
An tadhhaba, ba become mansub.
Again, she wants to go.
Turidu an tadhhaba.
Turidu an tadhhaba. Turidu an tadhhaba. She wants to go. Okay. Okay. Now I want to say you want to go.
Answer turidu an
tadhhaba.
Nafsa, the same, yeah. So turidu an tadhhaba, you want to go, and she wants to go. Turidu an tadhhaba. So we will know from the context, like whether we are talking about her and or we are talking about the second person. Okay, I want to go.
you.
I want to go.
Uridu an adhhaba.
Yes, so we need to be careful. We have to use the same verb that we are using in the beginning, and then after, and we have to use the same verb as well. And I want to go, uridu an adhaba. He wants to go, yuridu an yadhaba, right? So this is where we need to be. And we want to go.
Nuridu an
Nuridu
nadhhaba.
And nadhhaba, right? Yes, nadhhaba. Okay, so what we will do, inshallah, I will make 3 sets. So one set of the verbs that end with dhamma, then we will make one set of the verbs that end with noon Arabi, and then we will make one set of the verbs that do not change. And we know there are 2 verbs that do not change. Okay, so here when you say yuridu an yadhhaba, how will you translate it? Quickly. Yuridu an yadhhaba. He wants to go. Okay. She wants to go. Turidu an tadhhaba. Okay, you want to go. Turidu an tadhhaba. Okay. I want to go. Turidu an tadhhaba. And we want to go. Nuridu an tadhhaba. Excellent. And then we have lam, which is li, basically lam of ta'lil, lam of reason. And when we use lam of reason, it is translated as in order to or so that. Okay. For example, you say, I read Arabic or I learn Arabic to understand Quran, right? So if you want to say I learn Arabic to understand Quran, so how will you say? Adrusu al-Arabiyata.
اللغة العربية
Okay.
ليفهم
Yeah, okay, so he studies, so we start with he. So he studies Arabic to learn Quran. So yadrusu al-Arabiyata yes, ليفهم القرآن, right? ليفهم القرآن. So he studies Arabic to learn Quran. She studies Arabic to learn Quran.
تدرس
العربية
لتفهم.
Yes, لتفهم القرآن. Excellent. So she studies Arabic to understand Quran. So تدرس العربية لتفهم القرآن. Okay, you study Arabic to learn Quran, to understand Quran, let's say. تدرس العربية
لتفهم
القرآن. Excellent. And I study Arabic to understand Quran.
أدرس العربية لأفهم القرآن.
لأفهم القرآن, right? So now أفهم here, this fatha will be dropped or not? لأفهم.
No, sir.
We will not drop it. Excellent. Yes.
No.
Okay, and we learn Arabic or we study Arabic to understand Quran.
ندرس
العربية
لنفهم القرآن.
Excellent. لنفهم القرآن. Yes, Ahmed, do you have any question? Yeah, there are 4 questions. So now we understand, or we got to know the difference between an and li. So an is translated to without any reason. When there is no reason, we use an, and then when there is a reason to do something, then we use lam ta'lil, which is called lam of reason. And what does it do? It basically changes mudare from marfu to mansub. Okay. Likay, yes, there are, as we are discussing here, this is possible. Kay, likay, lan, there are many huruf that are used to change mudare into, or they make them mansub, and inshallah we will take them one by one. Yeah, it's a good question. So today we have learned the use of an and the use of li. And in the inshallah following lessons, we will also learn the use of harfilan and then also harfikay and likay. And there are like 4 or 5 of them, hatta as well, that are used to make mudari mansub. And when they make it mansub, there is a reason and the meaning also changes. So the summary is, when we want to say, I want to go, so I will say, uridu an adhaba. And when I want to say that I study Arabic to understand Quran, so adrusul arabiyata li afham al Qur'ana. So what happened over here? We have used lam talil, and here we have used an, that is translated as that or to. So
the
yes,
example that you gave earlier from the Quran, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونِ. So it's that's because of to worship me, the hidden ya. If it was not ya, and then it would have been liya'buduna.
Exactly. It's
like
basically it was liya'budunani, because liya'buduna,
yes,
right? So there is noon over there, and then what happens, that noon gets dropped, because we will learn inshallah in the next lesson that the verbs that have noon, the noon also gets dropped. But then noon al-wiqaya comes back, right? Because when we want to use noon with the verb, it has to be liya'budunani. And for the purpose of, like, it's the language of the Quran, most of the times al-ya al-mutakallim gets dropped. So it means
Okay.
so
So
that
otherwise,
yeah.
it would have been. It would have been. This is the reason of a noon not having a fatha here.
That's right. It has
Liyabuduna.
kasra. That's right. It has kasra.
Okay.
That is noon
Jazakallah.
al-wiqaya. Wayaki. Okay. So I think, do you have the energy or the courage? I don't know what to say. I'm sorry, but like, do you want to start the lesson?
I joined late, sir, but you said you'll be doing Surah Fatiha.
Surah Al-Fatiha, Ustad. Surah
Okay, so let's
Al-Fatiha and
complete Surah Al-Fatiha. Okay.
Yes, Ustad.
All right. So before I open my file, so I would like to ask you, what do you remember for the beginning of Surah Al-Fatiha? Let me see where the Mus'haf is. Okay. Yes, so do you remember the grammatical analysis that we did for the first half of Surah Al-Fatiha? Do you remember that? What happened?
Lillah, Allah, it is Rabb, it is Badal.
Okay, I didn't hear. So Alhamdu, here, Alhamdu is like, is it a nominal sentence or
Mubtada.
verbal sentence? It's mubtada, right?
Mubtada, it's a
Excellent.
nominal.
And this al is called al-jinsiyah. That means it covers everything that comes into that scope. Okay. So alhamdu, for example, when we say al-insan, it can mean one specific person, but when it is mentioned in the Quran, innal insana lafi khusr, that means the whole humanity. So this al is called al-jinsiyah, which represents the whole lot of, or the whole generation of things. So alhamdu means all praise and thanks. All praise and thanks. Lillahi, we know jar majroor, and lafz al-jalala is majroor because of harf jar li. What do you remember about li? It's li, it's lam of possession, right? And it is translated in two ways. Do you remember? One, it is translated as for. For example, هذا الكتاب لزيد. This is the book for Zaid, right? But also it is used for emphasis, which is translated as belong to. For example, لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض. Whatever is in the heavens and in the earth belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? So here lillahi will be translated as for, okay? Alhamdulillahi, all praise and thanks is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rabbil Alameen. So harf Rabb, why it is or kalimatu, sorry, kalimatu Rabb, why it is majroor?
It is Badal,
It is
Ustad.
badal of lafz al-jalala, right?
Allah.
Yeah, Allah. So that's why we know that the i'rab of badal will be the same as the i'rab of mubdal minhu. So Rabbil Alameen. What about Alameen? This construction is
Mudaf, mudaf.
mudaf alayh, the Lord of the universes, all the universes. Okay, Alam means universe and Alamina, universes. So that means that there is not only one universe that we know. There are many universes that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. So we only know one, that we said that there is one universe, right? But Alamina is the plural of Alam. And also, as you can see here, this word is it's against the qiyas. It's not based on alim, because alim and alimuna, but alim means the person who knows something, the person who has knowledge. But alam, it is an exceptional case where it has fatha, the third root, and it has fatha. So it is alam, and it is used for the universe. And alamina will be translated as universes. Ar-Rahmani, Ar-Rahimi. Okay, so why these two adjectives are majroor?
Again, it is Badal for Allah.
La, this is not badal. These are the sifas. These are the adjectives. Yeah.
Mawsuf sifa.
Yeah, Mawsuf sifa. Excellent. Yeah. So Mawsuf sifa, we know that now we know two things, that the i'rab of badal and the i'rab of Mawsuf sifa will be the same. Excellent. Okay, Maliki Yawmiddini. Malik is ismul fa'il on the pattern of fa'ilun, malikun, maliki. Okay. Again, it's badal from Lafz al-Jalala, Maliki, and it is mudaf. Yawmi is mudaf ilay and mudaf both, and ad-dini is mudaf ilay. So Maliki Yawmiddin, the honor of the day of judgment. Yes, the honor of the day of judgment. So I told you the difference between Malik and Malik. Do you remember?
Malik is king.
Malik means the king, right?
King.
And
yes.
Malik means the honor. So honor has bigger
Owner.
authority, who has complete full authority on everything. So Maliki, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala introduces himself in the beginning saying that I am Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. But straight away he tells us that Ya 𝐷𝐸⁻ 𝐕𝐨𝐜𝐿 𝐵𝐸 that you need to be careful and keep in your mind that I am also the honor of the day of judgment. So don't just think or don't just rely on being me Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. There is no doubt about it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. And he says that my mercy has taken over my wrath or my anger. But again, we have been told that there will be day of judgment, and then we have to be accountable for that. And then there is a very strong statement again, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. So I'm sure you know the meaning of na'budu wa nasta'inu. Na'budu is we worship, right? So ya'budu, he worships, ya'budu, ta'budu, abudu, and na'budu, we worship, right? Iyaka, again, as I told you that it is the restricted way of hasr. It's like we restrict it to the meaning of only you. So iya is basically used when we want to single out something and we want to say that we want or we do it only for you. So ka is basically, we know that this is maf'ul bihi. For example, it is na'budu, we worship, ka, you. It was basically na'buduka, but when you want to make it or signify the importance, then it will be iyyaka na'budu. Ma'naha yani la na'budu illa iyyaka. Yani, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we don't worship except you. So it will be la na'budu illa iyyaka. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'inu. Nasta'inu is the 10th form of the verb, and it is basically used to seek something. So when you want to seek something, it is used ista'ana yasta'inu. So nasta'inu, we seek help. So iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. It is you we worship and you we ask for help. So that means we do not have, or we must not, of course we will not, and may Allah protect us from the shirk, but the Prophet Muhammad also used to seek protection from the shirk. So we do not worship anyone else, and we do not ask anyone help. And help means where we have somehow the feeling that someone else has the power to do it as well. So only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the power to help us. So we must ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for help. However, when we talk about the matters of the dunya, we know that what it means. For example, if I ask my son to get me some water, or if I ask lend some money, borrow some money, that doesn't mean that that person has the power as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wa na'udhu billah. That is only for the worldly affairs. But when we have the feeling or the faith that someone else has the same power, then that will be complete shirk. Ihdina. The verb is hada yahdi. Hada yahdi. And from yahdi, you guide will be tahdi. Okay. So tahdi, what we will do, we will drop the ending, and ya gets dropped, and then also we have to drop the lamatul madari, ta gets dropped. So we have hamzatul wasl. So hamzatul wasl will take fatha, dhamma or kasra?
Kasra, sir.
Kasra, ihdi, because yahdi has kasra, right? So that's why it will be ihdi. Okay. So ihdina, ahdi or yahdi is a verb that requires two objects. So the first object is ihdina, guide us, and this is fi'l al-du'a, where we are making, this is not fi'l al-amr, afwan, this is fi'l al-du'a, where we are making du'a to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ihdina, guide us, and guide us towards what direction? Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqima. What do you think about the construction of as-sirata al-mustaqima?
Mawsuf.
Straight path, mawsuf sifa, right? Okay, why it is mansub?
Because it's after the
Fi'l
dua
al-du'a or after fi'l al-amr, yeah. We know
maf'ul
that the maf'ul bihi will always be mansub. So it has two maf'ul or maf'ulain. So the first one will be ihdina. Na is the first one, guide us. Guide us towards what? Towards the straightest path. That means we always need hidayah. We always need guidance, and we must seek it all the time. If someone is full, he will not ask for food or water. Who will ask for food or water? Someone who is hungry or someone who is thirsty. So that means hidayah is something that we need to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala 24/7. Okay, now I hope you are able to figure out the i'rab of sirata. Why sirata has fatha?
It is continued. It's like the same sirat as in the previous ayah.
Exactly,
It's
it's badal, perfect. Okay, so but we have discussed earlier that the badal will be equal in number, gender, status, capacity. Here it is as-sirat and here it is sirat. So
because it's mudaf here.
it is
and
mudaf.
will be
Excellent.
proper
Sirata
noun.
is mudaf and alladina is mudaf ilayh. Okay, alladina is a noun, we know that, so it can be also mudaf ilayh as well. So sirat alladina, when you translate it, it will be the path of those. Okay, the path of those. Sirat alladina. So sirat is basically badal from the sirat that has come first earlier. So it is sirat is proper noun. Why? Because when the mudaf ilayh is a proper noun, then mudaf also becomes a proper noun. For example, we say baytun, that means baytun is a common noun. But when we say baytullahi, the house of Allah, now the word bayt has also become a proper noun because mudaf ilayh is also a proper noun. Sirat al-ladina. So sirata is badal from the sirat that we have discussed earlier, and alladina is mudaf ilayh. An'amta, which verb form is this? The only verb form that starts with hamza. Verb form number 4.
Four.
Yeah, an'amta. Yes. So you bestowed favor, right? You did inam. So an'amta. This is basically an'ama yun'imu in'aman. Okay. So an'amta, you did favor. This is mukhatab. This is the sixth form of the verb. An'ama, an'ama, an'amu, an'amat, an'amata, an'amna, an'amta. So you did favor. And this is where the ulama and the shuyukh say that if we say an'amtu, this is close to haram because it would mean I did favor or I bestowed favor. So that's why we need to learn Arabic as well, because some people, they recite it and they say an'amtu, which is haram in a way that if someone is doing it unknowingly, he needs to learn, he needs to know. So an'amta, you did favor. So we know that alladina is ismul mawsul, and after that, either there is a verbal noun or the verbal sentence, or after that there is a nominal sentence. So in this case, we have verbal sentence. An'amta alayhim. Alayhim is jar majroor. Ghayr. What do you remember about ghayr? It means not. Do you remember?
Yes, Ustad.
Okay, so for example, hadirin, ghayru hadirin, muslimin, ghayru muslimin, right? So
Right.
al-maghdubi. Okay, ghayri, why ghayri is majroor?
Because of alayhim.
La, alayhim is jar majroor. Ghayri is badal from alladina, from the people. So it's badal from alladina, and we know that alladina is mahallan majroor, right? Because it is mudaf ilayh. Sirata is mudaf and alladina is mudaf ilayh. And ghayri is badal from alladina, that's why it is majroor. Did you get it, or do you want me to repeat again?
Again, Ustad.
Sirata is mudaf, sirata is mudaf, and alladina is mudaf ilayh. Okay, we know that mudaf ilayh is always majroor,
Majroor.
right? So
Okay.
now the word ghayr is badal for alladina. So we know that the i'rab of badal will be the same as the i'rab of mubdal minhu. So it is badal from alladina. So alladina is mahallan
Alladina.
majroor. Yeah, it is majroor, right? But we know that this is mabni,
Yes, Ustad.
the ending will not change, so that's why
Mabni.
ghayri is also, it is also majroor. And al-maghdubi is on the pattern of maf'ul, yeah, maf'ul. So those who earned your wrath, yani those who made Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala angry. So who are they? Who are they? The Jews, right? غير المغضوب,
Yes, Ustad.
Maghdubi refers
Okay.
to the Jews. عليهم is again jar majroor. Wa is waw al-atifa. La means no. We know that, we have learned already. And ad-dallina is basically, dal is someone who goes astray, who loses the straight path. And who are those? The Christians.
Christians.
The Christians. Okay, so oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we make dua that show us the path, okay, the path of those upon whom you have bestowed favor, not of those who have evoked or provoked your anger, or those who are astray. So sirat alladhina an'amta, who are these people? Alladhina an'amta alayhim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned in the Quran. If Hafiz al-Quran is there, the Shuhada and the Anbiya. Do you remember that verse? Anamallahu alayhim, there are 4 people, the Anbiya and the Shuhada and the Siddiqeen. 4 people Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned in the Quran. I don't remember now, yeah. So those 4 people, these are the ones that we are supposed to, Sahaba Karam, the Ashab of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Tabi'in and Taba Tabi'in, those people. It refers to them. Dal is, Dalla yadillu means to lose the way. For example, if you are on the way and you have lost your path, you will say, Laqad dalaltu tariqi, I have lost my path. So dalin is basically on the wazn of fa'ilun. So inshallah, we will learn it as we discussed earlier, that the doer will be on the pattern of fa'ilun. So daluna and then una, ina. What do you remember from una, ina? For the masculine plural, yeah? Yeah. Yes, masculine plural will be una, muslimuna, muslimina, muslimina. Similarly, daluna, dalina, those who have gone astray. So maghdubi is on the pattern of maf'ul, and dal is on the pattern of fa'il, the doer and the receiver. So those who
what's
have...
the ayn kalma here? I mean, if it's fa'il, then lam, dad,
yeah,
lam.
that's right. Yes, it's basically dalilun, and then it becomes dalun. So I hope inshallah.
When it bidorina, so it's also file then?
Yeah, it is on the pattern of ismul file, that's right. Those who have gone astray. Yeah, it's on the pattern of dalun. Dalun is one person who goes astray. Dalani, 2 persons. Daluna, many people. And daluna is marfu. Daluna, dalina will be mansub and majroor.
Okay.
Wallah, alhamdulillah, I'm so happy today that we have 𝗍𝐸𝐴𝐴𝐶𝐻. This is a ni'mah kabira from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we have learned Surah Al-Fatiha. I hope inshallah you have also learned how to read it properly, recite it properly. And if we are able to recite it properly, and if we are able to reflect and ponder, and if we are able to, this is the biggest mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon us, because Surah Fatiha, La salata liman lam. Do you remember this hadith? Irfan, I think, is not there. La salata liman lam yaqra bi fatihatil kitab. There is no prayer for those who has not recited Surah Al-Fatiha. So it's a mandatory that we have to recite it in every single verse of the prayer. And there are some other ahadith, very beautiful, strong ahadith about it, inshallah. Some other times we will discuss about it. For example, when a person says, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, so Allah says, Majjadani Abdi, that my slave has glorified me, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Then again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responds to that, what we recite in the prayer. So that means when we are praying, we need to be careful and reflect upon it and pray with concentration. So up to Maliki Yawmiddin, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to the angels that my slave has glorified me. And then when it comes to Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, this is between me and between my slave. So inshallah, we will talk about this hadith some other time. Any questions?
No, Ustad. Alhamdulillah. we are
Okay.
good.
سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Have a nice weekend, and inshallah I'll see you on Sunday.
Jazakallah.
وإياكم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
جزاك الله خير.
وإياكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.